Hello everybody, my name is Phakhi and my ID is 610-96-44424. And today's topic is about the linear and the parabola intersection when will two lines meet. And hope you enjoy the video, and let's start the video. Have you ever found yourself waking up in the morning, feeling lost, stranded, lost in the sea of life, trying to find a goal to accomplish, things to do, people to see, places to go, what matters and what doesn't, but only to be found stuck with the things you love and used to, all these toys you have, the collection, passion, the admiration, this plastic love. And then you fire up one of your gacha game. And after accumulating enough salt, you just realize that you have works to do. Hello everyone, it's me Phakhi again, and today we'll be talking about the meeting point, or as we could say, intersection point. So today we will talk about the two kind of intersection point, which will be about linear equation and then the parabola equation. Let's start. First off, for the linear equation, we can say that linear equation can meet with one point or no point. We'll talk about this later. But let's start with the one point. So first off, we have these two linear equations. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna transform this into y form first. So I move the x, and then y will equal to negative x plus 3. And when I got this form, I gotta put this y into this equation. So it's gonna be 3x minus 2, and in the bracket we'll have negative x plus 3, and all of them equal 4. And then we're gonna do the normal equation progress by giving 2 inside this bracket, and it will be negative to negative, it will be positive 2x, and then negative to the positive will be negative 6 equals 4. And we're gonna clean this up a bit. It will be 5x negative 6 equal 4. And when we have this will move this 6 to this side. 5x equal 10, and then x from 5 divide to 10, we will have x equal to 2. Now we have this. We're gonna plug 2 in either of this equation, but I'm gonna plug it into this one because it's easier. We're gonna have 2 plus y equal 3, and then we're gonna move 2 to the other side. Y will equal to 3 minus 2, which is 1. And now we have the point on where the intersection point will be in this equation, which is 2 and 1. So you can say that the linear point will eventually meet if the lines, like for example, start from here. Even though it doesn't meet right now, it will always meet because the line will go on forever. But what about the 0 point intersect? Well, there's a thing for that. It is the parallel line. Parallel line is the exact straight line. Sorry, that's that's bad on my part, but I'm trying to draw the straight line as best as I can. Is the two straight line that go on forever and will never meet. And that's the concept of parallel line. So let's go on to the equation. So as I said, for the graph to not meet each other, it must be a parallel line. So how do we do this? How do we make a parallel line? Well, first we're gonna turn this into the simple y form first by moving this to this side, and it will be 4y equals negative 3x plus 12. And then we're gonna make 4 divide to both of this number, which will be y equal to negative 3 divided by 4x, and then 12 and 4, which is divisible, which will be something like this. And now we found the y form and we figure out the slope of it. This is the key point to the parallel line. For the another line to be parallel, it must have the same slope, so it will never meet each other. So we're going to use the point slope form to solve these questions. We have the condition of having coordinate at negative 2 and negative 2, which is 0.1 for x and then 0.1 for y. And we found m already, which is equal to this. Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna use this formula to solve the equations. And this will be this because it's negative. And then like this. And now we have this form. Gonna clean this up a bit. It will be y plus 2 and then negative 3 over 4 with inside bracket equal to plus positive 2, and then we share both to this, which will have negative 3 over 4x, and then plus, it's minus because it's negative form. It will be minus 6 over 4. And since this is divisible, it will be 3, 2. And we're gonna move 2 to this side. By equals negative 3 over 4x and negative 3 over 2. Then divide by 2. Sorry, not divide, subtract by 2. And how do we solve this? Well, you're gonna put it right here and then make sure to have them in this form together, and then be in the same number to perform a subtraction. And then we got something like this. And so we divide them, I keep saying that. We subtract them together and we get negative 7 over 2. And now we have the answer for these questions. And this is the line equation that is parallel to these questions. And now for the parabola form, we can see that there's two kinds that parabola can intersect. There's parabola with linear, which can be seen by this, and parabola with parabola, which can be any of these three. One on the condition that it will never meet. 2 is 1 point, it could be meet something like this. Like this. And finally, 2 points, which is something like this. And you can see that the 2 point will meet somewhere around this and this. We're gonna talk about the parabola with linear first. So I have set up the equation for the parabola and the linear intersection. So how we gonna solve this? We have two equations, one is parabola and one is linear, and I got a checklist for us to know when and what we're gonna do on each step. First, we're gonna set them equal. What I mean is, this will be equal to this, like this. Okay, we got the first thing done. And then second off, move things to one side. We're gonna move things from this side to the other. So things will be like this. 4x plus 3x plus 6 plus 4. Always remember, when things go to the opposite side, their sign will also be the opposite. And now we're gonna clean things up a bit. And we'll get something like this. So we got that thing done. Here. Don't worry, I can erase that later. And we're gonna solve for x. So we got this. You can either use the quadratic formula, but I'm gonna use the factor because it's faster for me. Oops, sorry, it's 0, not 10. Okay, I'm gonna solve for x. Gonna x plus something, and then x plus something, and it equal to 0. From 10 we could have 5, 2, 5, 2, because two of them will be 7. And there we go, we got that. And then when we solve for x, as I said, it will be in opposite form, which will have -2 and -5. Okay, now we have solved for x. Finally, we're gonna plug in everything to solve the y. I'm gonna plug the x to this one. So we have first one, y equals to -3, and then it's gonna be times -2, and then -4. So we're gonna time this together. Negative times to the negative will be positive, which is 6, and then -4 will be 2. We got the first one, which is this. And since it intersect will be and always be 2 points on any circumstances, we're gonna have 2 answers. So we're gonna find the another one. Y equal to -3, and then -5, and then -4. So we're gonna do it the same as this side, and then 3, 5 equal to 15, and then -4, it will be 11. Okay, now we have the second coordinate for the intersection. So what's the deal with the parabola? Well, as you can see from this, parabola can have none touching it, and it can have 1 point meeting it, and it can have 2 points meeting the parabola. Well, this can easily be determined by this formula that I found, and which is when we have the quadratic equation, we're gonna have something that looks resembling like this: y equal ax squared plus bx plus c. And when we have that, we can use this formula, which is delta equal to b squared subtracted by 4 times a times c. And when we got all the information and when we place them in this, we will see that if delta is more than 0, then they'll have 2 points of intersection in the parabola. But if the delta equal exactly to 0, then it will only have 1 point. However, if the if the delta have less than 0, then that means there will be no point of intersection in that graph. So let's find the intersection from the following equation. So now we're gonna try to solve the equation of the parabola on the intersect subjects. So we have the two equations, the y equal x squared plus 5 and y equal x squared plus 2x plus 1. So what we're gonna do first is that we're gonna make them equal to each other. That's the theme. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to this side and then equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, now that we have put them to equal side, we're gonna isolate the x. So how do we do that? Well, we change sides. This to this. That would eliminate each other. And then we have plus 2x plus 1. And then we're gonna move this to this side to just 4 equals to 2x, and then 2 will go, and then x will equal to 2. Now we have the x number, and we're gonna the x coordinate of which point this is gonna meet, and this is the parabola that only have 1 point of intersections. So what we're gonna do next is to find the y coordinate of this equation. What we're gonna do, we're gonna have this and then plug it into any one of these. I'm gonna plug it into this one, which is easier in my opinion. We will have 2 square plus 5, and then we'll proceed 2 square, which is 4 plus 5, y equal to 9. Now we have the coordinate of which point where the two parabola meet, which is 2 and 9. So that's it for the topic of intersection for the linear and the parabola. Right here. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yes, I do struggle in the making of this video, but once you get into it, you start to understand it and you can proceed and practice so you can enjoy and do math easier for the next questions. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.